Come on, let's start, you beauty. Come on. Yeah, she lives. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome along to another episode of The Forgotten Farm. Today we've got the Ford started with a little bit of a service and a jump start there. It is firing over, so we're just going to pull the case away. We're going to be using this a bit today, and I'll show you exactly why. Oh, by the way, I forgot to point out that we had a front roller packer stuck in the hedge there. That looks like it needs a bit of a paint up, but it's there. I didn't even see that when I first had a look around. It was so buried. Anyway, let's get this thing turned around. I moved the plow out of the way because it was just kind of in my way there. So that's in the shed now. I do need to get that into the workshop at some point and focus on the metal work on there, but that's a job for another day. One of the main things we've done, I have put front loader brackets onto the case so we can get a loader onto here. I've decided for the time being we're just going to get a tractor loader. We don't need to get like a telehandler or a forklift or anything. We just don't have the money for one at the moment. There's a lot of other things we need to look into buying and getting ourselves set up with, and then actually bringing in the livestock as well. So we'll have to look into that one at a later date once we actually have a justifiable reason to get a big machine, really, such as a telehandler. But the good news is that the Ford is firing. We're going to let that tick over for a little while. And then it's actually going to go onto the spinner today, I reckon. We need to think about getting some fertilizer work done here. Get some of our ground covered. We've got a few bits of equipment to pick up from the store. I have bought a new trailer, and we've got some fertilizer down there we're going to pick up and get the loader all sorted out as well. It's down there waiting for us. So I picked these up myself, installed these onto the tractor so we can just go down and hook straight up to the loader. I think that's the best idea. But yeah, so we've been busy, we've been sorting a few little things out here and there where possible. Now what I'm going to do, I'm just going to see if this tractor wants to move, because to my knowledge at least it hasn't moved for a while. Everything looks good in terms of fuel levels, that's all good, it's just that it's, yeah, it hasn't really moved for some time, so let's see how it goes. We've got a nice easy gearbox to work here, we're going to keep it in 4 I think, and just stick it into forward. Oh, hey, look at that, we've got movement, everybody. There we go. It's not sounding all that good, but I don't suppose it would having not moved for quite some time. We got backwards as well, which is great to see. I think we'll do. We're just gonna sneak around this corner here. We're gonna let this run over for a while. We're gonna hook up to the fertilizer spinner and bring that out and get a better look at it, see if it's in working condition. So we'll get this all hooked up, and then we will, yeah, we need to go and take a drive down to the store actually. Let's see how we're looking here. Should be good. Alright then, so we'll get this brought out here. I think I'm just going to park this in the workshop and let it tick over. That way I can kind of inspect the fertilizer spinner as well. Typically I park the case in the way. We'll get this moved around and we're going to take a drive in the big case, and we will go and see what we've bought. And away we go! Firing out the old beast here. We're going to take this down to the store. We're actually very close to our local dealers, which is fantastic news. It's great to actually just hear some machines of our own rumbling around this farm, just to get everything up and working finally. It's a real relief, and so far we've been very lucky mechanically. There's not been a lot out of the basics that we need to look into to get the tractors going at least. Oil checkup, checking over the filters there, new battery on the Ford as well. Everything else has been good. One thing we are going to be running out of in a not too distant future will be diesel, and I need to get there's no diesel tank at the yard actually, that was removed because I think the last one wasn't very safe, I don't think, so we need to get a new one effectively. So we're going to have a look into that. I've got a price of one which wasn't too high, so it's something we can definitely have a look into. And then by doing that, then yeah, we're kind of self-sufficient really, which is what we need. And then we can start to get this land work done as well. I've got a contractor coming in the next few days to look at the sugar beet, so we can get that cleared on that field. And then once that's done, We can get probably plant some spring barley into there as well. Hopefully, it might get a bit late by that point. So there is our new trailer. We have a small bale trailer. I decided to get a big one as well because we have got some ground that's a little bit further away, and that small trailer would have taken a while to cart all the bales back that we're going to be making over there. We're going to take a drive over there later on because I've yet to go and have a look at it. But I know that we have hay, and I think there's a grass pasture there, and I think there's also a barley field. So we need to go check that out and see what's there and see just what we can see what state the ground's in really. So that's our new trailer, which is a great trailer. Picked this up for next to nothing actually. I think it's about 10 grand, which is fantastic. What I do need to do is go and find out where this loader is and get ourselves all hooked up. So let me just pull this forward, I think. Pull this forward out of the way. We'll leave this here, and then hopefully, all being well, you'll come back and there'll be a loader on here. There we go, folks. Look at that. That doesn't look too bad at all, I don't think. It's this is the a Stahl Profiline FZ60, as you can see. Now, a bit more clarification as to why I went down this route. The cheapest telehandler I could find, I could get a hold of quickly as well, was going to be in the region of about 60 grand, could you believe? Whereas this, with the bracket mount, came to about 10. So that's a big saving. We still need to figure out what we're going to be doing with grassland equipment, and we need a sprayer as well, so we could probably figure out all of that for less than the cost of this loader and the for less than the cost of the telehandler, really. So that's exactly why we've done this. Now what we are going to do is we need to pick up a set of pallet forks that are here somewhere, and we'll get these loaded on and take this trailer back up to the yard. 1, 2, 3. That's number 4, and then we've got one more left to go, which is perfect. We'll get those all strapped down, and then we are cooking with gas, ladies and gentlemen. There's also a front weight here of ours, which I don't think I can get picked up today, so I'll probably come down and get that with the Ford. I want a little bit of extra traction on the front end of the Ford because it's not as heavy a tractor as this one. So if we use that for kind of ploughing or anything, I want to get a little bit more grip over the front end, so that's why we've got the weights there. There we go. So we have just bought a bale spike for the time being. We need to figure out, see what other options there are around there. Bale spike we probably shouldn't, but we're going to kind of use as a universal tool really. We'll probably need that first, to be honest, because we need to get some. We're going to have to get some bales on the farm one way or another. So we will look into that one. What I'm going to do right now is we're just going to hook this up. Pick it up there. That's great. And then we'll go and strap down these pallets so they don't go flying off on me. There's one. God, where would I be without ratchet straps? There we go. Excellent, and away we go. So yeah, I think with the machinery we have, yes, it's not modern for the most part. The tractors certainly are not. They've got a lot of wear on them. The combine I haven't even had a look at yet. It's still in the shed there. I know it's probably going to need to have a. It might start, it might not. It's probably going to need to have like an oil change, filter change, and hopefully that's it. Maybe a battery as well to get it firing. It's got a lot of hours on the clock. I know that much, and it's going to need to be well looked after and nursed back into operation. But for the size of the land that we have and the operation we've got going at the moment, the equipment we have is going to be pretty perfect. So I don't want to change that right now. I think it's going to be best if we just. I don't want to make too many big purchases that will carry with it a lot of expense and a lot of outlay and outgoings. So we'll try and make do with what we can. Obviously, if we're able to grow and become a little bit more successful and get a fully functioning farm business going again, then we might be able to look into getting a few more bits of equipment, and we'll take it from there, really. But yeah, we have enough to keep ourselves going with. We just need the farm to start making some money of its own accord, really. And once it does, we should be laughing. What I am going to do, though, I think, I want to go take a drive out in my truck. I want to go and check out this other land we have to see what's down there. We're going to need to spread some fertilizer at some stage. We'll probably look at doing that this afternoon or tomorrow morning. And what I want to make sure is that there's no fields down there that I need to account for. There may be one that I think we might need to put some fertilizer onto. So if that is the case, then obviously we want to look at doing it all at once, really. Now, what I might do is just shove this back this way. Stick this into this barn over here for now and keep it out of the way. In case it does decide to rain. And then we'll come and investigate what's going on in a little while. We'll leave it all hooked up together, I think. This is probably going to become one of our straw sheds, really. I think we'll put straw into here. Straw or hay bales. Keep them out of the elements. One thing I would say, visibility at the front end here is not great, but never mind. I've left my beacon lights on. Go figure. Excellent stuff. But I'm very happy with that trailer. It's a nice looking trailer there. And that's going to serve us very well. I was very pleased to pick that up for next to nothing, really. So, we'll have a wander back over. We're going to just go and pick up my truck. Why have you stopped? That's interesting. As you can see, it is a little bit run down here. It does want a little bit of TLC more than anything else. And we desperately need to get a pressure washer on this farm. Everything's filthy. So we need to look into finding one of those where possible. That's another job. We'll look into trying to price one of those up as well. I think my fuel Bowser is likely going to go... I was thinking maybe putting it here where that tanker is actually. That might work quite well. Or even around this corner, but then this is all overgrown. And we need to really start to trim down and control all these bushes around here. Get everything back into a good state. For now though, I'm going to jump into the truck and we're going to go on an adventure. Alright, so we're passing the store there. I do believe, if memory serves right, we go up this way. One thing I know about this area is there is an awful lot of grass growing. We've got on the pastures around the yard at least, we've got a lot of grass growing up there of our own, so that's great. We shouldn't fall short of any fodder for the cattle. I am thinking about, well, once we get everything, the infrastructure ready to roll, get around this corner, we got a quite a sloping curve. I'm thinking of maybe starting with about 30 to 40 head of cattle, just to get this up and running, just to see practically how it's all going to work. And then we do need to get any viable number to make it worthwhile. We really should be looking at increasing that number significantly. So we do need to think about how that's going to work. But of course, there's a lot to take into consideration. You need to make sure that you have the infrastructure there to accommodate that large size. We have no pit silage, we'll have to be doing a lot of bales. We need to think about where all those silage bales will come from. Things like that. We need to make sure that we can... I'm not sure if we'll go down the line of dairy cattle or if it will just be beef. We need to look into that and see what the price is looking like. We do have the ability to have a dairy facility. We've got a lot of the equipment is in the dairy barn there, so it's certainly something we could look at. But again, there's a lot of outputs and outgoings for that, and a lot of costs associated with it as well. So a lot of different kind of thoughts and processes you got to go through really when you decide just which way to go. So we'll have to wait and see. There's a lot to work out. Right now, I just need to try and find out as well what equipment we are going to be needing. Price up that equipment, see if it's worthwhile that we buy it, or if we find a contractor nearby to come in and do a lot of that work for us. That's one of my main thoughts right now. Could be the best way to go about it as well. In hindsight, there when you look at it, it could be something that makes a lot more sense to get someone else to come in, and the cost would probably be a lot cheaper for us. But yeah, that's kind of where we are right now with it, at least. No, I think I want to go this way. If memory serves, we're down here somewhere. Now I want to say that this is our field on our right and on our left as well. Oh, there's a barn there. Let's have a look at this field here. Must be a gate in here somewhere. So when my granddad owned the, well, operated and worked the farm. I never actually came with him up to this area. I only just knew about it. Oh, there's a gateway here by the looks of things. Let's just pull us off into here. Alright then, so what do we have here? This is a good looking crop actually, it's nearly ready to go. This looks like a... This is a crop of oats here that is... Hey, it's looking like it's pretty spot on. Got to get a moisture meter and check this one out because we'll have to get this picked up pretty quickly. It's looking a bit thin in places. It looks like the yield's not all that it could be, but then it's probably not being touched very often with any fertilizer, so that might account for that. Not a lot of green trash in the bottom though, so that's always good news. So we can look into getting in here quicker maybe than I thought. Wow, that's a bit of a surprise. We'll have to see what we can do with that. Now, depending upon how my combine's looking, I might have to see if we can get some help in with this one. But yeah, that is something we're going to have to look into either way. But this is a nice sized field actually as well. Good size. And we also have, let's go and have a look at that grass field over there. That's a welcome surprise. I don't know how they're ready to go already, but they must have some great soil conditions here. So yeah, we'll have to... One of my next jobs then is clearly going to be making sure our combine's good to go and get that firing. But we'll have to really look into that one. And to my left, to my right here, sorry, is our grass pasture. Now this is a small meadow really. I think it's been permanent pasture for quite a while. We might want to look at reseeding the grass on here, just to give it a bit of rejuvenation. Certainly something we could look into. But again, a nice sized bit of equipment, a nice sized field here. Little barn here, and actually, there's some equipment in here. And, oh lord. Well, there is some equipment, but it is looking beaten. Heavens above. It looks like an old class baler. I can see green through here, so it must be class. Green and white at least, so... Lord, is that ever beaten up. And then a pottinger rake that's a bit... Well, all the rakes seem to be here. That's a good start at least. But wow, is that filthy. Well, furthermore proof that I need to try and find a pressure washer quickly. And then I'm going to have to come down here with a tractor and bring this back ASAP, I think, and get this all looked into. That's been quite a surprising and interesting little trip down for us. So we've got some new equipment to look into, and we've also got some oats that we really need to get harvested sooner rather than later. With that in mind, I think I'm going to get cracking and just look into this and see what we can do. So I will leave it here. Thank you ever so much for watching. I do hope you have enjoyed. If you have, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to Simulation for the Nation for more. And we will see you in the next one. So until then, do stay safe, enjoy what you're doing as always, but most importantly, happy farming.